Have you ever watched someone make a decision so confidently wrong, you start to question if you're the one who doesn't get it? Like watching a guy bet his entire house because, well, the roulette wheel landed on black 5 times in a row, so red is definitely due. Ah, yes, the gambler's fallacy. That magical little brain glitch that convinces otherwise functional adults that the universe is secretly keeping score. Spoiler, it's not. The universe is not a parent handing out turns fairly. It's not checking a spreadsheet that says, okay, 10 straight sixes, better give him a 7 or he'll cry. But try telling that to Stickman, who's currently at a casino, sweating through his stick shirt, pushing all his chips onto number 7 because he just knows it's next. The last 10 rolls were all sixes, and according to Stickman's deeply scientific gut feeling, 7 is basically inevitable now. Never mind that dice don't have memory. Never mind that each roll is independent. Never mind logic entirely. Stickman's sure. And you can't argue with that kind of certainty, mainly because it's not listening. The gambler's fallacy, also known as the law of averages but wrong, is the belief that past random events affect future ones, even when they're completely unrelated. Like thinking a coin that's landed heads 5 times has to land tails next, or that slot machines get tired and need to pay out eventually. No, that's not how probability works. That's how hope and denial hold hands and go skipping through Vegas. The tragic comedy of this fallacy is that it feels smart. It feels mathematical. I've done the research, people say, usually after losing half their paycheck and 3 friendships at poker night. But here's the truth. Randomness doesn't care what just happened. There's no momentum, no emotional arc, no karmic balance. It's not an underdog sports movie. It's math, and math doesn't do foreshadowing. Picture a stickman flipping a coin. He flips 5 heads in a row. Now, a logical brain would say, cool, still a 50-50 chance next time. But Stickman's eyes go wide with revelation. Tails is due, he whispers, as if he's cracked a cosmic code. He bets his sandwich on it, then his shoes, then the deed to his stick house. Because nothing screams rationality like doubling down on a coin toss with increasing desperation. Humans are pattern-hunting machines. We see a few repeated outcomes and immediately assume there's a pattern. It's why we stare at clouds and see bunnies, or why we date the same red flag in a different shirt and call it fate. But randomness isn't a pattern. It's chaos dressed politely in statistics. And the gambler's fallacy is just our inner caveman trying to predict the thunder gods with dice. You see this fallacy way beyond casinos. Like that friend who keeps buying scratch-offs because a big win has to be coming soon. Or the guy at the gym who skips leg day for 6 years, then suddenly does a squat and expects quads to sprout like chia seeds. Or worse, investors. People throwing their savings at a crashing stock because it's dropped so much, it has to go back up. Yes, and I've eaten 12 cookies, so surely the next one will make me lose weight. That's how physics works, right? Let's take a detour into brain mechanics. The gambler's fallacy isn't just dumb, it's biologically human. Our brains are wired to expect fairness. It's how we survive in social groups. If Dave got 2 coconuts, you want your turn. And when fairness doesn't happen, your brain gets twitchy. Enter the fallacy. It's your brain saying, surely the universe can't be this unfair this long. Newsflash, the universe absolutely can. Fairness is a human invention. The universe is just out here flinging asteroids at dinosaurs and not taking feedback. Even worse, the fallacy is reinforced by the one time it works. That glorious moment when you bet on red after 10 blacks, and it finally hits, and your brain lights up like a Christmas tree. See, you say, sipping your free casino soda. I knew it. And now forever, your brain thinks that was strategy instead of luck. You've learned the wrong lesson, locked it in, and strapped it to your wallet for future damage. But here's the kicker. The fallacy doesn't just wreck gamblers, it messes with everyone. Have you ever stayed in a horrible relationship because you thought, it's been bad for so long, it has to get better soon? Yeah. That's the emotional version of betting on red. Or kept watching a show that's been terrible for 3 seasons because they're due for a good episode? That's Netflix's fault. But still, same logic glitch. The gambler's fallacy is basically optimism weaponized by math illiteracy. It makes us feel like the odds are shifting in our favor when they're actually just doing their thing, unbothered, unchanged, and unimpressed. Stickman, meanwhile, is now in debt. He sold his stick dog stick house to double down on lucky number 7, which is still not happening. And when asked why he keeps betting, he stares into the camera with wild confidence and says, because the streak can't last forever. Ah, yes, that ancient wisdom passed down by generations of broke philosophers. And yet, despite all this, the gambler's fallacy feels true. It's emotionally comforting. The idea that justice will arrive, that luck will even out. That bad streaks must end, and they might, but they also might not. Because luck doesn't have a punch card. Want to see this fallacy in the wild? Look at sports fans. We've lost the last 5 games, so we're definitely winning the next one. Sure, that's exactly how football works. If performance was that predictable, my fantasy league wouldn't be a tragic exercise in misplaced faith. Or how about dating apps? You swipe through 83 awful profiles, and then your brain says, the next one has to be the one. No, statistically, the next one is probably another man holding a fish. But hope springs eternal, and so does bad logic. So how do you protect yourself from the gambler's fallacy? First, recognize it. If your reasoning ever includes the phrase, it's due, pause and reevaluate. That's not a strategy. That's your inner toddler demanding a turn. Second, understand probability. If an outcome is independent, like dice rolls, coin flips, or which uncle ruins Thanksgiving, it doesn't matter what came before. Third, never trust a gut feeling in a casino. Your gut also told you gas station sushi was fine. Your gut is optimistic, not accurate. But above all, question certainty, especially when it's based on vibes instead of facts. If someone says, this is guaranteed to work this time, ask for evidence. Ask for math. Ask if they've been hanging out with Stickman again. Because here's the truth. Betting on randomness to balance out is like yelling at the ocean for being wet. It's not listening. It's just being itself. And if all else fails, remember this image. Stickman, sweaty and wild-eyed, selling his last stick shoe to bet on a 7 that never comes. Surrounded by 10 straight 6s, insisting the next one is definitely it. Because the longer the losing streak, the harder the hope clings. But randomness doesn't care about your streak. It doesn't even know you exist. So, the next time you catch yourself thinking, it's gotta happen now, pause and ask, does it really? Or is your brain just panicking in a tuxedo and calling it logic? Because if your argument for success is because the universe owes me, then I hate to break it to you, but the universe isn't a bookie, and it certainly doesn't accept emotional credit. So what's it gonna be? Keep betting on the streak to break, or step away from the table and let logic do the dealing. Just make sure, whatever you choose, your stick house isn't on the line.